Okay. So I decided against the teeth inside of this here attachment thingy. And I also decided $20 is too much. I also decided to lengthen that just enough to cover all the teeth on the sticks here. And now I think I'm ready to start the spoon and the fork and the knife. And each of those has its own problems. And I gotta go get a spoon and a fork and a butter knife so I can measure them. Okay. So the thing that I really need to measure most is the size range of the length of these things. So I've got 70, 60, 65. So essentially, if I copy this body here, this one, and I rotate it about this axis by, I don't really know what the darn axis should be. Hang on, or angle. Project this and project this line from here to here and here to here, and that angle is create driven, yes, 7.4 degrees. Okay, so I'll move this body, rotate it around this axis by 7.4 degrees. Negative 7.4 degrees. So if I put a sketch here, and I put a line from here to here, I make another line that is vertical, and then another line that is perpendicular to this. What happens when I measure this and this? I get an angle of 179.9 degrees. Okay. So change this to 0.5 and see what happens. And that is 180.0. Okay, cool. Cool. Now I have to go back because I forgot to copy the body. Okay. And I think the first thing I'm gonna make is the butter knife, which will mostly be more of a spreader type of device. So instead of having a thin knife edge, it's gonna be a lot wider than most butter knives, I think. So if I start a sketch here, and I measure this disposable butter knife, it's got a blade length of like 63 millimeters. So I'm just gonna put a line here that's like 63 millimeters. And then I'm gonna put another line here that's 63 millimeters, because I don't know if I would prefer this or somewhere between. Yeah, because if I'm holding this in my right hand this way, then what I should do is... What? I don't... There, okay. What if I make an arc here, and I make this actually about 58, and I take this, I delete that constraint, and I actually make this collinear with this. And then the width of the butter knife from, like, its maximum width is like 16 millimeters. And if I do that, that's pretty small. And because I want this to be more of an actually spreading type device, I might let's see. I might actually let's make this 60. I might actually, you know, make it wider. I don't think I want it to be, you know, going all the way out to here, right? And this is just an edge. That would be kind of dumb. But I do want it to be a little bit wider than that. What is the distance between here and here? 78. That is a pretty big keychain. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna extrude it like, oh my. Two, I think. That didn't change a single gosh darn number. How thick is this disposable butter knife? 3. The thickest part is 3. The thin part is less than 1.5. So if I make it 3 3, and then I round off this. .9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, and 5 has the line there. 5, 9, 8. Okay, so 4.6. And then I will chamfer this to distance. This one will be 16, and this one will be 2.2. Why? Okay, I think the 16 is too big. What? Okay, chamfer this. Don't include that. Oh, okay. Delete this so that I can chamfer this first. To distance. This one is 2.2. And this one is 16. 16 is pretty far. Let's go about 5. Six. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to go back into this here and actually make this 7. And then I'm going to change this to be, no, not that, this to be 5. That should be pretty blunt. It should be blunt enough not to, you know, hurt people, but sharp enough to get through a stick of butter. And then if I fillet these, now if I make them with a radius of 3.5, okay, 4.5 it is. Actually, make it like 4.6, 7. Yeah, 4.7. Okay. And then I'm gonna mirror this. No, first I might want to add in serrations, because butter knives are always serrated for some reason, and I don't know why that is, but normal kitchen knives are not serrated, and I'm guessing that you know, the serrations serve a purpose in a butter knife. Otherwise, why would they bother putting that much effort into making these things? So I think if I made it like this, that would be right, and kept this, then that would be the wrong kind of serration. But I don't know. So if I can I set these equal? I don't think that I don't know what was made equal to what there. You know what, I'm gonna start a sketch on this plane again and see what I can do. If I cut away, yeah, if I cut away an arc like this, except that's too, that angle I don't like. So if I cut away this, right? And then if I do that again, no. So I make another 3. Except I don't want that. I want them to be equal. And then I want can I point here, point there. Put these points on each other. And the distance between them is 2.246, which is a strange number, so I don't think that's gonna be the same throughout this whole arc. I don't know how else to put that in. I'd like to pattern this. Can I pattern this? Can I select? No, I can't select. I can't select a curved direction. Oh, you know what? I can pattern this because this is an arc. This is an arc with a radius. And it's concentric with this arc. So I just gotta find, it's that center. Okay. Circular pattern, this, select this, quantity 3, distribution full, partial. Okay, so then what I need to do is delete this, put a line that goes from the center of this arc all the way out, then another one. Get it to snap here and snap here, and measure this angle. 28 degrees, almost perfect, holy moly. Okay, so now I can go ahead and move this, circular pattern, select this, select the center point, which is this here, partial 28 degrees, negative 28 degrees, and make it like 15. 14. Okay. Now I can just cut away all of these. And now it's got serrations in it. I don't know if they're good serrations, but it's in it. Can I chamfer these more, and should I? I'll keep that. And then I'm going to go ahead and mirror this body across this plane. Make it a new body. Because I don't know if I would prefer... I feel like I would prefer actually this one over this one. Rename this to butter knife, and rename this to butter knife butter knife archetype. So basically, when I'm using it, right, I feel like this would be more comfortable to use as a butter knife. So there's the butter knife. I don't need that. So I also don't know if I can use this like that. It might need to be at a different angle, which if I go into wrong sketch, this sketch, butter knife archetype, get rid of the collinear and define an angle between them. Because it might be better to have them at this kind of an angle, right? So I'm going to have it at 179, right? And see how well that works. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go into the sketch and rename it. Okay. It's this sketch. Sketch 15. Rename it. What? Rename butter knife. Okay. Now sketch 16. Butter knife. I don't know how to spell serration. Cut out. What is sketch 13 and 14? 13 is... nothing I need to know about. And 14 is also nothing I need to know about. Okay. So if I'm trying to think, right? If I'm holding I'm gonna hold the actual thing in my hand right now. I would have I would be holding it so that the sticks here. Oh my god, why is the select? Okay, I would hold it so that the sticks here would be at an angle, at more of an angle, more like this, I think. I might even hold my hand off the table, so more like this. So then, if I go back into the butter knife sketch, that would be $160 would be yes, whatever. I think 160 would be okay. It'd be a little too far, actually. Let me go with 165. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this sketch and move this over. And I think that would be the most comfortable angle for me to have the butter knife edge at. I think. I'm not too sure about that. And then I'm gonna also include this one. And I'm also gonna okay. Then take these. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I think that's the butter knife. So now I need to decide how I want to do the spoon and the fork. Because the idea was that these would all be in a case, right? But I also had an idea that the spoon could be the case for the fork and the butter knife. Right? Wait, let me go back into the butter knife. Should I define this as perpendicular to this? Does that? I don't like that. I prefer this. Another thing I might want to do is come out just a little bit. Five? I don't like that. Okay. Because how could I do the spoon? Right? If I do the spoon and I put this inside the spoon, okay, how about if this was inside the spoon and the spoon was the case and the fork was the lid? So if I start a sketch on this plane and I do like this, and then I did this, and then on top of that, right, and then I extruded both of these. Right? And then this would be the spoon and this would be the fork. That would be so stupid. I kind of like that idea though, but it's also pretty darn, because the butter knife is small, right? It's not very wide, but then the spoon has to be pretty wide. Has to be 33 centimeters or millimeters wide. If the spoon, I would be making a pretty big spoon too, because like a normal spoon I'm gonna suppress that. What if I reduced the size of the butter knife? Because this is a pretty big chunk of space. I'm going to rename the attachment test to, I'm also going to call that archetype. And I think I'm going to make another copy of this to where this one was, but put it on the other side here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the fork next because I've got an idea. I'm gonna go ahead and essentially make the butter knife and the fork nest against each other. And then the spoon, I think, is going to hold them all. So there's going to be a big spoon, but the spoon is going to hold the fork and the butter knife. And I think the spoon is going to double as the case as well. So rotate, select. This one, 180. Okay, cancel that, cancel that. Move this. Select this. It was 7.5, right? Yeah. Create copy. Okay. Now, move this. Select this. 180. Okay. Now I should be able to move this by translate. And then the wide, is that Z? Z distance. 10, 8, 9, 9, okay. 0.9? 9.9, jeez. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You don't make it 8. Okay. Then I should be able to now make a fork based off of this. So I make a sketch here, and I go, how big is the fork? The fork has to be, the fork is about, that I have, that I'm measuring off of, is about 27 millimeters wide. So 27 divided by 2. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna move that. Keep that in there. I'm gonna put a dimension here just so it can be defined. I'm gonna get rid of the butter knife now, And I'm going to see how wide I can make the tongs of the fork. And I don't want the fork to have, let's see, tong. Tongs, tines. I think they're called tines. The little fingers. Okay. This I'm not going to have. Instead, I'm going to have this, and this. And they're going to be collinear with each other. And they're going to be equal to each other. And then I'm going to have a line coming out the center. Then I'm going to have a line going from here to here and from here to here. And these are going to be construction lines. And these are going to be equal to each other. That was bugging me. And then same thing on this. I thought these were all collinear with each other, but then this is okay. This is a construction line, and this is a construction line, and these are equal. And then wait. Whoops, I got the wrong construction line. Okay. Let me just keep that. Okay. Let's make sure all of these are horizontal. Okay. And then construction lines. Okay. Make these equal. I make these equal. Fail to solve. Okay. Okay. This is equal to this is equal to this is equal to this. Put a line here and here. Make these equal. Sketch geometry is over-constrained. Why? Oh, I see. Okay. What I need to do is put this and this together and make these equal. Never mind. So if I move this here and I move that there, I can't. Why can't I? Oh, because delete coincident. I didn't realize this was coincident with the center there. Okay. Now I should be able to put some construction lines down. And I should be able to make the construction lines equal. Okay, so now all I'm doing when I move this is changing simultaneously I'm just changing the thickness between these two, between the tines of the fork. That's good. Extend this all the way out, and this all the way out. So now I should be able to, the fork's tines are at the smallest point, less than 2 millimeters apart. I know that's not going to work. And at the thickest point, about 6 millimeters apart. So I'm going to keep them at the thickest point, at the thickest. Let's see. I don't like 6. Let's make 5. Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and see how long the tines of the fork actually are. And that's about 45. So put a line in the center here that is 45. What if I make that 50? I put another line that is not construction going all the way out like that. So now if I extrude this, -4, right? And then I get a butter knife. Four is pretty darn thick. 4 is extremely thick, so let's make it -3. That's better. And now I'm going to put a sketch here, because I don't want squares as the fork tines. They have to be able to, like, you know, pierce through things. So if I take .8, and then 0.8, then put an angle here, and then 0.8, and make these equal. And then I project all of this. And then I do the same thing. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a line going all the way from here to here. That'll be a construction line. But then I'm going to bring all these down. Make sure they all touch. Delete that coincident, put that there, put this here. And if I make this equal to this one, that didn't work. If I make this equal to this one, anyways, That should be 0.8. I should be able to bring this to... Okay. I will deal with that later. I'm just going to put in the... There we go. So now I should be able to cut all this away. That should still be fairly stiff. Yeah, gross. Okay. Now I'm going to put a sketch here. I'm going to go ahead and put an arc that goes from here to here. This point. If I extrude this to this plane here, and I join, put a circle around that. Put a line going up into here. What happens if I cut this out? Okay, yeah. This is going to also include... Oh, can't do that, can't do that. Okay. I'm going to put a sketch here. Project this, and this all. Okay. Now I'm going to go back into the, whoa. Oh, that's what the problem is. Okay. Not that one. The other one. Okay, that looks so much better. Okay. So now I'm going to go back into this first sketch and put circles on them. Okay, that first sketch I'm gonna rename to fork. The second sketch I'm gonna rename to tines. The third sketch I'm gonna rename to fork curve. And the fourth sketch I'm gonna rename to solid body for fork. That's just what I'm doing with those, and then gonna go back to fork. Gonna cut out all of that. What happens if I chamfer this? Okay. Gonna go back into fork curve. Put a line from here to here. And gonna bring back fork curve. Cut these out. Okay. Now if I just go ahead and clean this up with some fillets. Let me change the style here. Okay, that's kind of okay. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. This looks more like a... It almost looks like a weird transistor. Right? Because like these would be the leads, and then this would be the box that contains a transistor inside of it. I think it's because it's 6 the whole way through and it just doesn't look quite right. It's also quite tall, too. If I bring this further back to, like, there. That's... These will curve up if they're that far back. Alright. Well, there's the fork. And there's butter knife. Rename this to fork. And I have no idea what changes I'm gonna have to make to this darn fork, but yeah. I'm gonna have to measure the distance between this, and this, and the distance between this and this. I think this has the shorter distance between its two things. Because if I remember correctly, I made it, what, 4 tall? Oh, it's the same size. What if I made this 2.5? Everything goes wrong. Okay. Everything depends on it being 3 millimeters tall. What is 3 millimeters? Okay, 3 millimeters is kind of thick, but not too thick. So I'll keep it at 3. I don't know if this will be able to stab anything, because it's pretty blunt. But I could always, instead of using these circles, do that, you know? Okay, so now because I know these are both 3, then they're going to both hang on top of each other. And then it's going to be greater than 3 here. So then it's going to be this size plus 3. So what I need to do actually, before I go any further, is I need to get every last bit of space out of here that I can. That should say 1.2. Frick. It's with fork for some reason. And this should say minus 1.2. Okay. Why? Review warning. Reference failures. The sketch plane is lost. Cache is used. Please redefine the sketch to select another plane. Okay. Odd that it lost. Oh, because okay, yeah, that makes sense. Manage loss projections. Operations. Okay. Okay, so let's take redefine sketch plane. Now, why in the world is that gone? But then that's not gone. That's odd. Okay, hang on. Cancel. Cancel. Okay. No, that should be positive 1.2. No, that should not be positive 1.2. Okay. This is going down by 1.2. And this is going up by 1.2. But then for some reason, this is screwed up. So that created, let's see, and then this. See, that has its thingy. But then the move that created this lost it for some reason. It doesn't have the thingy. Why does it not have the thingy? Okay, so this one, right? Okay, let me redo this. Get rid of this and instead select this again. That is so stupid. That is so stupid. Okay, what if I redefine it to be here? See, now that puts it there. So what if I start a sketch? So what if I don't redefine it yet, but instead I create a sketch here? And can I move this all the way? I can't move that back farther than here, can I? Why not? Let's press this. I will create a sketch. Extrude this 1.2. Extrude this. Okay. That should work, right? Okay, so now if I move this to before that, I can unsuppress and redefine to here. There, okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Now the problem, right, is that I would like for the spoon to be about as long as the fork and the knife, but it's going to have to be longer than the fork and the knife. Unless I have them sticking out of the spoon, but then it won't be a very good spoon. So maybe I should just make a separate spoon and put it in a bigger case with everything else. Ah, crap. What happened to this? Oh, I know what happened to it. It was, one of these extrudes, wasn't it? What's this? What is this one? Solid body for fork? Okay. And if I project this, missing profiles. Edit feature. There we go. Okay. Also, then is the butter knife still fine? Yeah, okay. So if I take the fork, I'm not extremely worried about how well the fork will stay on the sticks, but I am a little bit worried about how well it will, the butter knife will. So, because the butter knife is going to have different forces on it at different angles, and the fork is just going to be pushed further onto the sticks. So what would happen? Let's see. What would happen? What's longer? The butter knife is longer. What would happen if I put an ellipse Okay, so what is that? This is 56 by 86. And if I do that, that is a very big spoon. A very big spoon. So I don't think the spoon will be holding things. It'll be a third thing inside the case. So I'll have to make a separate case for them. So how tall is this spoon? About 6 or 7. Okay. So let's see if I make a sketch on this plane and I just make an arc. And I put a line here. I make this. I put a line here. And I make this about 7. Then I offset this by about -2. Okay, -1.2. That's much better. And then I extend this. And I make this. And this construction. And I take the butter knife and the fork. I put them up against it. I make a line that goes past it. And it is 20 millimeters. 20 millimeters. Plus about 4 millimeters. Man, keychains that do anything are always going to be big, but yeah, that would be about right. And then this would have to be approximately about, call that 56. What? What? Okay. Delete that. This has to be 56. And then dimension, let's see. So then if I offset this by, yeah. And then if I move this over to about here, I would like to come up with a more efficient way of packing these, but I don't think there is one. What is that? What is that, 8? 6.8. That's smaller than this. So yeah, okay. Cool. So this is just showing me what the dimensions of the spoon would look like. Get rid of the sticks, get rid of the fork. Take the attachment archetype, move, rotate this body, create copy, select the axis. The axis is axis 1, negative 7.5 degrees. Rename this to spoon. Now I can get rid of the butter knife and this. Alright, and start a sketch on the top. And I'm going to make an ellipse. I'm going to make a line, and then I'm going to make an ellipse. What? I've pinned it and then it doesn't. I don't get that. Anyways. Okay. This is going to be about 56. And this is going to be about 35-ish. I guess I'm going to put a straight line . Okay, trim this. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude this. No, I'm going to extrude this to, actually I'm going to put it here. I'm going to give it a slight angle of like -5, 10, 12. And then I'm gonna give that a fillet of what was it? 6? 10. How does 10 sound? And then if I shell, now if I start a sketch here and I project it, and I project that, and I project this, and put a line going straight here, and I put a line doing the same. I put another line going on to here just to see what would be better. Make this vertical and make it go through that center point. Okay. Can I... That didn't work. Okay. The spoon doesn't have to have a curve back here. Okay. I trim that, and then I do the same thing. Out to here. Then I extrude all this. Hopefully this is like 8. I'm gonna stick with just this to here with a taper of minus 12 degrees and filleting that with 12 radius and then shelling it with 1.2. That's a good spoon shape. So if I bring back this sketch here, and I extrude this to here. Aha! I know what to do. Extrude this, start here, go to here. No? Okay. Extrude this, start here. Distance all. Join. Okay. No, I don't like that. That just doesn't look quite right. That's gonna put... I think the thing to do, because I don't like how that looks, is to just fillet it out. Oh, can't do that. Fillet this. And then because I don't want to hurt myself eating off of this, holy. And where's the spoon start? Pretty far back, actually. I could have moved this even further. Anyways, if I bring the fork and the butter knife, right, and then I move the spoon down, now I would have to put a case around all of them. But first, I have to print these and see how well they work. Do I really only have one sketch for the spoon? It's so weird because the spoon is a much more complicated looking thing. I was kind of dreading doing the spoon, but holy. I was thinking of doing this one at a time, but I kind of just like ended up losing myself in this. I kind of was like, that knife was easy, I'll do the fork. Yeah, well, I did the fork, I might as well do the spoon too. You know? So then... if I have these, the spoon, they're all pretty much the same size. Yeah, they're pretty much the same size. And the spoon can be however. I think I'm going to put the spoon and the knife here and I move the fork. Because if I move the fork this way, right, then I can put a case around it like this. And the case can be a square-ish shape. And I can use this space inside to put the hole for the key ring. For the key... yeah, the hole for the key ring, yeah. Anyways, delete that move. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save these. Right? And then I'll print them out and see how well it works. bodies. Butter knife. Save. Fork. What? Spoon. Save. Fork. Save. Oh, wait, hang on. If it's not visible when I save it, then when I load it into the slicer's gonna have nothing, so. Alright, so now I should be able to print these out and see how well it works. I'm gonna try to print the spoon with no supports. It should work with no supports. I don't think I'll need supports for the knife and the fork. But yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, mirroring the knife was not a good idea. I should have mirrored only the... Right? Hang on, let me see. No, yeah, mirroring the knife was a good idea. Never mind. Okay. And then the fork would have... I only rotated the fork, so... What's this? I rotated the fork. I didn't flip it. And yet somehow the fork has the big hole on the wrong side. That would essentially be a left-handed fork. No, it wouldn't either, because the fork would be backwards. Why does the fork have the hole on the wrong side? Because when I made that, right, by rotating, so the big hole should be on the left side of the fork, right? If I look at it, I've got I create a sketch here and I project the two holes. And I measure these. I measure this and this. Yeah, the big one is on the right side. So I would have to... That's not correct. How did that happen? Oh, it's because I flipped it. It's because I rotated it this way and then the other way. Whatever. I'll just redo the holes in the fork then. Should I do that now? I'll do that now since I remembered. Okay, put a sketch here. Then project this, this, and this. Put a line through it. Mirror these two on this line. Mirror this on this line, mirror this on this line, okay. Then bring the fork back. And cut this out. And then bring out the other sketch. And cut this, or not cut, put that there. That should have done it. And then rename this to fork fix. Yeah. Okay, now I gotta resave the fork. Yes. Alrighty then. Now I will print these out and see how well they work. I'm not too concerned about the fork, but I also don't particularly like the angle that it's at compared, relative to the finger sticks, but whatever. So I'm gonna take the sticks and rename this to finger sticks. All right. How big is this compared to? It's much bigger. I might have to come up with some alternative thing for that. Okay. Time to print these out and see how they work. Alright. I gotta do this quickly so that the cats don't finish the chicken I gave them. I gave them chicken. Decline the spam risk. I gave them chicken so that they wouldn't bug me while I'm doing this. I've got the 3 things printed out. I'm gonna test out the fork with the spaghetti and with the chicken. I'm gonna test out the spoon with that cereal. Oh, I forgot the milk. I forgot the milk. Okay, I'm gonna test out the spoon with the cereal. I'm gonna test out the knife by trying to cut this chicken, and by spreading this peanut butter over a slice of bread, if the knife survives the chicken. I had to print another... Okay, Google, dismiss alarm! I had to print... I forgot about that. Okay, Google, dismiss alarm! Okay, I forgot about that alarm. I had to print another one of these because it broke on me, so I'm gonna try and redesign this to be more durable. But anyways, so here this is. I'm gonna try out the knife. Try to do this through a camera. And I'm gonna see if the knife can cut through the chicken. Yeah, I can cut through the chicken. I'm gonna see if I can stick the fork. The fork goes through the chicken. That's good. Okay. Now I'm gonna see about the bread. Alright, I've got this bread. I'm going to open the jar of peanut butter. That is a brand new jar of peanut butter. Did not realize that. Oh, Chia, you found the chicken. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it, Chia. Okay. So, sticking the peanut butter sticking the knife into the peanut butter kind of works, but not real. Is hard. Spreading it is very easy because it's nice and smooth, and it's peanut butter, and peanut butter spreads easily. So that's good. Go get the... There, it's on the floor for you guys. Go get the chicken. Alright, so the knife is good. The knife works. I'm gonna try cutting it in half. And other than the crust here, oh well, I got the crust. The knife works. I'm gonna clean that off later. I've got, oh, I should clean it off before I take it off of the thing. Noted. Gonna grab another piece of bread to wipe my hand on the bread. Alright. Now I'm gonna take the fork and try and take a bite of the spaghetti. It's hard to twirl when it's attached to my finger, but I got a little bit. It is comfortable enough to eat off of this fork. I was worried that it wouldn't be comfortable because of the angle it's at. That's fine. To twirl it, I have to take it off, but it looks like it twirls just fine. That's about how good I can get it with a regular fork. So that's good. Let me put the back on the peanut butter. Do you want the peanut butter, Chia? Cats like peanut butter. So I'm going to take the fork off, put the spoon on. Where's the spoon? Here's the spoon. Okay. And pour myself some cereal with milk and see if the spoon can grab a spoonful of cereal. This cereal is almost out, so I'm just going to dump the whole bag. I don't know if... Okay. And I'm going to pour the milk. I need to be able to see the milk and the cereal, and that the milk is going into the cereal. Alright, it's hard to get depth perception through this camera phone, but there's enough milk in there now that I can attempt to eat the cereal. So I've got a spoon of cereal. Is the milk going down in the spoon? No, it doesn't look like it. That's good. That means it's watertight. It's a good sized spoon. Let me see if I can get just the milk. Not much milk, but I got just the milk. So the spoon works just fine. And now I'm going to have to eat this food, but everything is working perfectly. But the last thing I gotta do is take last thing I gotta do is lick the peanut butter off of this knife and wipe it off on here because I need to measure the stack of the utensil heads. Is that good? Good enough. So now I can stack the knife on top of the... Shit, you don't want that cereal. It's full of sugar. I'll give you diabetes. I can stack the knife on top of the fork and the spoon under the fork. And now I'll just take my calipers. And I'm going to have to clean these calipers off, but I will measure now the height of this stack, and that is 16.8. I will call it 17. I will write that down. Stack height equals 17 millimeters. Okay. Rather than trying to like calculate it and all that, I figured I'd just measure it straight up. So these work. I'm keeping these as they are. I might fillet the round edges, or the straight edge. These corners here, I might soften them, but other than that, I'm keeping these as they are. I'm glad that the knife works. I was worried that the knife wouldn't work. I'm glad that the fork works too. I was worried that the shape of the fork wouldn't allow it to pierce a piece of chicken, but it does that, so that's good. Yeah, now I'll have to finish all this food that I made myself, and then I will start work on the case that these are going to go in. So, yeah.